How's everybody doing today? On this beautiful weekend. I want to throw it back, man. I want to talk about this fighter. His name is Joe Calzaghe. Um, man, this guy's resume. I mean, he beat everybody. I mean, He might not have beat him in their prime, but he finished his career 46-0, no draws, no losses, 32 knockouts. That's a 70% KO ratio. 262 rounds. Didn't lose one fight. He retired undefeated. 3 fights shy of the um of the record from the heavyweight that Rocky Marciano. So on his resume, man, he got he beat, the likes of Jeff Lacey at the time. Jeff Lacey was the IBF super middleweight champion of the world. And at the time he was 21-0 with something like, some ridiculous amount of KOs. I think he had like 15 KOs or something. But yeah, he was from the same gym Keith Thurman was from. He was undefeated. He came over across the pond, as they say, and the hype was actually people were betting that Joe Calzaghe had lost that fight. Next fight, he fought Sakio Bika. Sakio Bika was probably in his prime when this fight happened. If you remember, um, Andre Ward fought Sakio Bika. If y'all remember that, in his career, Sakio Bika I think he might have just retired, a couple years ago, maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, because I think Sakio Bika fought on Donna Stevenson too. Um, so so he fought Sakio Bika at the time. Sakio Bika was 21-2, so he had 20 wins, one loss, two draws. He won that fight by a 12 round decision, and he beat Jeff Lacey by a 12 round decision as well. Then later, the next year, he bought he fought Peter Manfredi Jr. That was a third round TKO. So between the Sakio Bika and the Peter Manfredi fight, I think that IBF stripped him um, of his titles on that fight, which I'm not sure exactly what was the whole deal with that fight, why they stripped him, but they stripped him, and Lucien Boutte became the IBF champion for the next 4 to 5 years until he fought Carl Froch. So I don't know if he didn't fight him or something happened. I don't know. But in 2007, the same year he fought Peter Manfredi, he fought Mikhail Kessler. Mikhail Kessler was 39-0, dude. Remember he was in the Super Six with Andre Ward? Man, he fought Michael Kessler, prime Michael Kessler, when he was in the prime of his career with no losses. Wow, man, this is awesome. So he fought Michael Kessler for the WBA, the WBC, and the WBO super middleweight titles. Beat him 12 round unanimous decision. Boxed his ears off. Wow. That was just fucking. It's awesome, dude. It's awesome. You gotta watch that fight, man. Master of performance. You know, Kessler. You know, Kessler actually beat Carl Froch. If you go back and think, if you go back and look at it, he gave Carl Froch his first loss. So y'all need to go back and do y'all research on that. And Carl Froch was actually the one that beat the knockout George Groves that's fighting today. He's fighting against Chris Eubank. So, you know, I mean, it's crazy. But then, so then he fought Michael Kessler for all the belts. So right after he fought Michael Kessler, he fought Bernard Hopkins in 2008. You know, so I mean, he's got, you know, a Hall of Fame career, but then he fought Bernard Hopkins on top of it, and he boxed the ears off Bernard Hopkins, this white dude from fucking Hammersmith, London. I mean, you know, he from the United Kingdom. He's across the pond. He beat Bernard Hopkins, a fucking legend. And he beat him. He boxed his ears off. And wow, man, he did it, man. He actually did it. And you know, at the time Bernard Hopkins was actually, you know, was actually really good back then, you know. Bernard Hopkins was just coming off a victory of Ronald Winky Wright and Antonio Tarver. He just beat both of those guys. He just beat both of those guys before he fought Joe Calzaghe. And then after he lost to Joe Calzaghe, his very next fight, he beat Kelly Pavlik and gave Kelly Pavlik his first loss. Joe Calzaghe is a beast, dude. Watch his fights. He's a beast. He was a beast. He retired now. Then for Joe Calzaghe's last professional fight, to put the cherry on the top, man. Wow. He beat fucking Roy Jones Jr. Not the Roy Jones of now, but the Roy Jones of then. Roy Jones Jr., man. Wow. Mm, 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 mm. So he beat the Roy Jones Jr. that had just beat Felix Trinidad. You go ahead and think about that. So was not a washed up, you know, version of what we see now of Roy Jones Jr. I don't know about prime, but not too far from prime. He beat a Felix Trinidad. Beat him convincingly, 12 round unanimous decision. The very next fight, he fought Joe Calzaghe and lost. I mean, you got to understand, this guy Joe Calzaghe beat, you know, the best of the best, man. And I mean, that's my video, man. I really want to know what y'all think about Joe Calzaghe, man. Even if y'all even know about him. You know, a lot of these new boxing fans don't even know about Joe Calzaghe. I mean, he was actually really that good, man. And a lot of people don't give him credit, you know, for what he's done. Ring Magazine champion, unified champion. I mean, he's the accolades go on and on and on. And the number one thing about my whole spiel about Joe Calzaghe is that he retired undefeated and he has all of his bearings right now. He talks fine. He has money in the bank. He's fine. He's fine. He beat the man that beat the man. All respect, man, to Joe Calzaghe. Y'all have a great day.